Yo, what is up gamers, it's Sebastian coming to a brand new video. Now this will not only be just the deck profile, because normally I do deck profile then I do a different video of gameplay, but today it's going to be both. So I'll be showing you deck profile with Salamangreat Runick, exciting new deck, barely anyone is talking about it. I don't think it's amazing, but it is an interesting way to play the deck, and if you feel bad about floodgating your opponent, and if you ever be like, well, I'd still want to OTK someone, well then, this is the deck for you. Um, Shout outs to my friend Ashley. He showed me the deck, and I say, okay, I love Salamangreat, I love Microcoder. I'll just try this. And I gotta say, I played about 10 games on Duelist Cup because I want to get like good replays, and most of the games sucked. Like, because people just kept scooping early, and that's not good for content. But I did manage to get one replay after about 3 hours of grinding, and so you guys will see that after this video, later on in this video. But for now, let's get into the deck card by card. Let's start with the Salamangreat cards. We have 2 Gazelle, because it's at 2, 3 Spinny, 1 Falco, 2 Jack Jaguar, and then 3 Buffalo, 1 Foxy, 3 Microcoder, 3 Paolo Exceed, and then for the spells, Salamangreat spells, you have 3 Circle, and that's it, right? But so 3 Circle, 1 Silent Conflict. This is from Microcoder. Microcoder will get to the Silent Conflict. Silent Conflict says negate and banish a spell, trap card, or monster effect that your opponent activates, and they can't activate the same name for the rest of the turn. So you can hit like Fountain, you can hit Tip, you can hit Blinded Fusion, you can hit. It's not so good against Sword Soul, but it's really good against Despia. Like, Silent Conflict is really good against Despia, and it's nice into Runick. And I'm saying this with experience of having played Silent Conflict Turbo, essentially, doing like Despia format in the TCG. This card is nuts into Despia. But for the other spells, we have 1 Silent Mining. I didn't want to waste UR points. Maybe you can play like more Silent Minings, just to have more Microcoders. Because like inside of Salamangreat, it does like this is bad, but you can justify in this because it gets Microcoder. But I still think Silent Mining is a bad card. I'm gonna be honest. But then we play 2 Fountain, because we're only playing about 15 Runick spells. So how it works, when you use Runick as an engine, if you're playing like 15 or more Runick crit plays, then you want about 2 to 3 Fountain. If you play less than 15, you want about 1 or 2 Fountain. Here I play 3 Tip, 3 Flash, 3 Destruction, 3 Freezing. So that's 12, 15, like with 2 Slumber, 1 Smiting. So this 15 on the spot, so this I'm just going to play 2 Fountain. And that's the sort of like general ballpark that I bear in mind whenever I build a Runick deck. But now on to that, so we play 2 Hugin, 1 Moonin. Hugin obviously gets Fountain. You have to play a generic Cyber's Link monster first, so we play Code Talker. Because everything else, apart from like Transcode, Code Talker, like the only monsters that you can make with Hugin. So it's very important that you play like Code Talker, just so you can turn Hugin into things. And then Moonin, because it's level 3, so you can use Moonin and like Spinny or Gazelle to go into a Mirage Stalio. Then you have Baguska. Maybe there's an argument to play Gary, but because you have to summon to the EMC, I don't think Gary is good in this, especially with like, how tight the extra deck is. But yeah, then you have like 2 Bale. And then I played 1 Lingreaver because I had like a few situations where I wanted to just go like Sunlight Wolf, add back with Wolf, go into Heat Soul. And so you need Lingreaver for that because you can't go Sunlight Wolf plus Jaguar into Heat Soul because it needs different attributes. So play Lingreaver so you can go like Sunlight Wolf, summon back Jaguar, add back Gazelle, then go into Lingreaver, then Heat Soul. I mean, it was like a niche scenario, but it came up a few times. Then normal Koto, obviously for Hugin, update for access code. Sunlight Wolf, I only play 1. Whenever I played like Salamangreat as like as Heat Soul Turbo, more so than like Salamangreat, I never valued more than 1 Wolf because you don't play like the only backrow you play is like Circle. This list doesn't even play Sanctuary. because like this is just better to have. So you don't even play Sanctuary, so the second wolf should never come up, and even then, like, you're not playing Rage or War, so wolf add back, all it can add back is like Circle, which is kind of mid to this add back, especially when like your wolf is already going to be adding back a Salamangreat monster, and like Falco can recycle your Circle anyway, so more than one wolf is not necessary in this build. Then we have Splash Mage, Transcode, Heat Soul, and Access Code. So the thing is, like, you're going for like Baguska Heat Soul ideally with like the Runick cards to back you up. And Heat Soul Baguska, especially like when you get into conflict, you will get to a point where you have enough resources where you're fine to skip a battle phase, and then next turn you can just go straight to Access Code and they die. Right, so that's like the reason why you play Access Code. Like, you don't have to OTK, but there'll be a few times where it's like your opponent doesn't really have anything to stop you from just going into Access Code and killing them out of nowhere. So I still think it's correct to play Access Code. But anyways, that's it for the profile photo, so let's get into the replay. And so here we have a replay. I believe this is against Pure Runick. And so we are going, I believe we went first. And we open Spinny, 2 Circle, Destruction, Freeze and Curse. It's always correct to draw phase this stuff because it plays around draw. But it's very hard to do that on Master Duel. It's very hard to get stuff in the draw phase. But we go Circle, it gets asked, which I found to be quite weird, but it's whatever. So we go Destruction, and we Hugin, Summon, add Fountain, activate Fountain, set 1. Don't commit the Spinny here because I can make Code Token and that's it. What if I didn't care about Fountain? I could have gone Moonin, make Stalio, and then go like Heat Soul from there. But I valued just getting the Fountain in rotation because I was fairly confident this plus I drawing 2 cards. I probably won't get OTK'd, and if I do, it's like the start of the game. And that's like the things like part of my logic when playing Master Duel. It's like I can make a play like this because if I get like OTK'd, that's it. I can just go into another game. Like, it's really quite convenient. But anyway, so he is playing Runick. He did discard Fader, so the Mirage Stadia play would have been punished. And he discards Slumber for Hugin. I don't know why he's playing hand traps in Pure Runick. And Super Poly. Like, this is odd. Like, you don't want to mix board breakers and hand traps. So I don't know why he's doing that. I also don't know why he's just playing hand traps in Runick. But, or maybe he hates floodgates. Maybe that's it. But so I freeze and curse the Hugin, obviously. Then I draw 2. I draw into Fotsy. And I get Dispelling. The Dispelling didn't matter. It could have hit anything here and it would have been fine. But the Fotsy is really good in the Runick mirror. I found out that like Fotsy is really, and you'll see in a second why. Because you might be like, oh, Hugin can play that. Well, first thing to note, because if your opponent banishes like a Runick spell, then I've typically seen they go for Moonin, because Moonin has the Tiger protection, so you can't Destruction. Because if you have Hugin, one thing you can do is you can go Destruction, target Fountain, then chain Freeze and Curses to hit the Hugin. Right, but if it was Moonin on field, you can go Destruction, target Fountain, Moonin will banish itself for cost, and it stops the Destruction. Right, so Fotsy is a really nice way to play around Moonin in the mirror. But you also see, like, another reason why Fotsy is really nice here. Because you draw Flash and Fire, so I can start with just going Fotsy straight into Bale Links. And then Fotsy, chain Flash and Fire target this. And because it's all happening on the same chain, this dies, and then Fotsy summons and pops that, and there's like, if he wants to activate any Runick spell, he has to do it now, but then like he doesn't get to draw. So we just win here, pretty much. And so from here, I know I'm playing against Runick, so I go for a setup specific for Runick. We draw Buffalo, which is dead. We summon Spinny. I play a bit awkwardly here. because Lingriber wasn't actually in my list. I was playing Brute Enforcer in this replay. And also, like, Lingriber... No, actually, I have to do this play anyways. Yeah. This is the correct play for... You'll see. So, I make Balance here, because I want to put a Balance in the grave. And I didn't want to shuffle back my main deck monster for Jaguar, and I wanted Balance in grave. And then I go Splash Mage. I Splash Mage, bring back Jaguar, so that I can go Transcode Talker. Transcode Talker, bring back Splash Mage, and then we go Heat Soul here. And the reason why I do that, like, instead of just going like straight into Heat Soul, I do this because Transcode protects from targeting. So against Runick, it's very difficult for the deck to out monsters that can't be targeted. So Transcode, whatever it points to, and itself, or like if it's co-linked, both monsters can't be targeted. So because I know I'm playing against Runick, I just go for Transcode Heat Soul, and I draw into tip. I'm already forced to skip my battle phase, so I just tip anyways, just in case. And then we can just go from here. I wanted to draw phase Heat Soul, but I couldn't. But I mean, it doesn't matter because there's nothing he can draw here. The only card in his deck that he could possibly draw here is either Gozer Match or Tick Boot. Anything else doesn't stop me from killing him. And he messes up the demise thing, but whatever. And so I can just go, because even Imperm doesn't even kill here. Imperm doesn't even stop access code here as well. So it's so nice. I get Dispelling on. So I Heat Soul, I get Dispelling, and then I just go normal summon Buffalo, no interaction. I go straight into access code, and from here, this is 5,800, can't be targeted. 2/8 plus 5/8 is game, and I just pop 2 of his back row, just in case it's like something awful. And actually, I do pop a Droplet, which is nice. I mean, if I got Dropleted here, unless this was Flashing Fire, it's like whatever. I don't care too much. I still do like 2/8 plus 2,900, something like that. So that's about 4k damage, something like that. In fact, actually no, he would have to discard that. Yeah, he'll be on no cards, and then next turn I have like two 2/8 bodies. That's game. Right, so Droplet doesn't even stop OTK here. And he just scoops because there's nothing he can do to stop OTK. What he had to do is like Droplet, send a Dynamite on someone, and that last card has to be insane. But yeah, basically, that's just like one game of Salamangreat Runick. Maybe I'll do like more games of like different decks I showcase in the future. The issue I had with Salamangreat Runick though was just too many people scooped way too early. And so I just couldn't get any good replays, and after 3 hours, it was just, okay, boss, this is the closest to a good game I had. Like, this actually, like, this showed off the deck well enough. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this content, if you guys want to see more of this, be sure to let me know. I am thinking of maybe doing a Labyrinth deck next, or Weather Painters, but I need to, like, experiment a bit with that. But otherwise, I'll see you gamers later, and goodbye.